Okay, here we are. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this third session of the week. Our iFunnels walkthrough, I would say extensive walkthrough, so you can be up to date with whatever we've been doing in the platform in the past few weeks or months, based on when you join or how you're using it, because we know when you start using a platform, sometimes you tend to stick to what you're used to doing with it. So, and it's a platform where that evolves constantly. We add some new features, even tiniest one, like every day, and at least a few every week. Some just got unnoticed because it's just improvements, or sometimes bug fixes, and sometimes it's completely new features. And so I think it's important to also show you the full value of the platform, that we keep you up to speed with the current state of the art at iFunnels. So in the past few days, we have reviewed quite a few modules, the domain and hosting. We've gone through what do we do? Yeah, deliver, of course, to create your products, sell digital and physical products, create memberships, protect your content, drip feed your content. We've also reviewed the lead channels, the validate module, and yesterday the email funnels, which is built-in autoresponder. We've touched a bit to automate. It's a more advanced module, but we can go into the details maybe a bit later. And today I think we should focus on probably just on Studio, and maybe if we have time on lead funnels. So as usual, if you have any questions, you can just use the comment box if you're on Facebook or on YouTube. And so, yeah, let's go. Yeah, so the Studio is the landing page sales funnel builder, which allows you to create any kind of website, landing page, opt-in page, sales page, one-time offer, webinar pages. I mean, anything you can think of, you can basically build it using the Studio. And so this is your main, I would say, dashboard, when you can have like an overview of all the funnels you have created, the ones published, where you will see the URL, and those not published, obviously, you won't see any URL. You have a few icons, so you can delete. When you have published your traffic, you will see a report icon, so you will get a detailed report about your traffic. It will show you where your traffic comes from in terms of geo-targeting, and a detailed report for each page in your funnel. So you can clone, you can share your funnel. So when you have created a funnel, if you use the share link, we'll be able to basically share it with anyone. And of course, people will need an iFunnels account to be able to import these funnels. And when they have an account, they will be able to install it. So let me just show you how it works. You just click the link, it's automatically copied, and then you can just share it. And when you're logged into your iFunnels account, it will show you like a screenshot, the name of the funnel, and if you want to import it or not. And when you import it, it will be automatically installed on in your account. Okay, so now let's see how we can just start from scratch. So when you want to create a new funnel, you just go to the Create New Funnel. And here, based on your account, you will have different options. So if you have access to some ready-made content, then you will see a bunch of categories based on what you have access to. And we also have some templates you can use right away. So if you want to use some squeeze pages, or SaaS landing page, webinar registration page. So we have some ready-made templates you can use and pick any of those. So I will show you just right after. And if you don't have anything or you just want to start from scratch, so you just click empty canvas and you launch the builder. Okay, so here we are. So now you are facing like a blank screen. And let's navigate. Let's show you how it works. Here you have the template section. So you can always at any point load a new template. Let's say you change your mind and you want to use a ready-made funnel. So you just go there and just click and it will delete everything you've done and upload the new template in the funnel you're creating. So that's a template section. The blog section is where you have access to 700 professionally designed blogs. And so that's this one. And you can have a quick overview of all the blogs you have access to. And to make it easier to use, all the blogs can also be accessed based on categories, for example, headers. So we have a bunch of headers. Then you have some features-based blogs. I will show you after how it works, just a quick overview. So the blog section, basically the blog is, it's not a primary design feature. It's, I would say, it's already made design for you. So you don't have to be a designer to create your page, and I will show you exactly why. You just drag and drop some pre-made blocks, and then you can just edit the blog. So it's a way to quickly create your web page, and then all you have to do is just update some links, some text, and probably change your images. Then we have the components, which is more like a primary design option. And you will use component when you want to create design on your own and when you want to create your own blog. Then we have the pages section. So basically you always start with an index page. And when you want to add new pages, you just click add new page and it will create a new page for you. So don't worry, we'll go into the details. It's just an overview for now. And the pop-up section, it's always related to the page you're currently editing. And you can create entry pop-up, exit pop-up, or what we call regular pop-up, which is triggered pop-up. So someone clicks on call to action on your page, and it will trigger this pop-up. And entry and exit pop-up are just self-explanatory. So when someone enters your page, they will see a pop-up. And when they try to exit, we can just retarget them, what we call on-site retargeting. So when they leave, we try to catch them so they just stay on your page. So these are the main sections on the left. Let me go back to my page. Then what you have here on top is a way to toggle through different views. So how your page will look like on mobile, on tablet, and on desktop. So this way you can always see how responsive your page will be, and you can adjust your content that way. Now on the top right, when you have something to say, when you have edited your page, you will see this button will change to save. And when you have published your page, it will change to save and publish. Then here we have the preview. So you can just click here to preview how your page looks like. And here, this is the upload. So it's basically to publish on your domain. And I will go through it a bit later. And then here you have the site settings. So you can change, give your site a name. normal. You can add some custom CSS, and if you want to add site-wide tracking script, you can do so in the header or footer script. This I won't use it right now. It's if you wanted to protect the whole site. Okay, and you also have the page settings, so you can also add title, description, keywords, and script specific CSS just for the page you're currently editing. Okay, and the A/B testing will show you a bit later. So that's an overview of the editor. So now we can start adding some blocks. So we'll start by adding some blocks to our page. As you can see, it's really easy. So you just pick the block you want, drag it, and you drop it. Then I can add some, let's say, some features. So just add that one. Yeah, you can basically drag and drop where you want. So you could just go to the top. Okay, so you see exactly how it works. You can add as many as you want. You can add some opt-in form if you want. Then, I don't know, we can add maybe a footer or someone or a team. And we close with some footers. And okay, so that's why you can, I mean, it's recommended to start with blocks because all these blocks are already made for you. You have 700, so chances are you will quickly find something to create your main layout. And then when you're happy with your layout, you can start editing basically everything you want. So all you have to do, for example, if you want to edit the text, you just go here and you start typing your own text. If you wanted to change font weight or size, you just go there. You want to change the color. You want to change the margins, align the text center. And then if you wanted, I don't know, I could add some background as well. So it's quite easy to use. You can transform the text. I just want to capitalize the first one. That's quite simple. The effects, you will have an effect section in the settings. So you can add some delays to every component on your website. So whatever it is, it could be just at the block level, or it could be at the text level, or it could be the button, whatever. You can always add some delay. So for example, I could say, okay, I want this button to appear, I don't know, after 10 seconds. And so basically, the button won't appear right away. It will wait for 10 seconds, and then it will appear. If I wanted to change the background, I could just go there and upload my own image, or just use an existing one. Okay, now I have a new one. Of course, it's difficult to read, so I could just add an overlay color. So now I can't see my image, but what I can do is add some transparency. And this way, you can really do whatever you want. So when you want to edit something in the editor, you just click. It will toggle the settings section, and you have some styles for the block, some effects as well. You could delay the appearance of the block as a whole. And then we have some settings, and I will go through the settings just in a minute. So you can do that for all kind of blocks. For images, that's the same. You just click on the images, and then you will see an image section, and you can just open You can upload your own images, okay, and or just pick existing one in the library. These ones, that's it. Okay. And you do the same basically for any component. Whenever someone can be edited, and usually everything can be edited, you just hover it, select it. For example, this is an icon, so it will already show you the icon settings, so you can change the icon. Okay. Change the color as well for the icon, and its size, whatever I want. I could also delay it. When you've selected an item and you want, for example, to select something else, for example, it will show you like a breadcrumb. So this way you can see now my selection is changing. And so I could say, okay, no, I want the whole grid. So I want this one, and I want to add some colors, some background color to that section. And I can do it that way. So you don't have to be right on the main area you want to edit. You can just select something and then just, start moving to something bigger, and voila. So that's for the ready-made blocks. We have some nice feature. For example, it's called the fancy divider. So when you're at the block level, you just go to the settings and say, okay, I want to add a divider at the top. And so you just select that and say, okay, maybe what could I use? I could use this one. Let's try this one. Then you just pick the color for your divider. You just change a few options, and that's it. And this way you can add any kind of divider you want. And if I wanted to go really fancy, I could do the same here, but add now not a top, but a bottom divider. And I could use, let's say, this one. And I do the same. I just pick the color. I can't remember, maybe that one. Save is just so it's it does not overlap the content. And okay, and now I can apply the changes. So now, as you can see, it's not good looking. It's because of I was not doing it correctly. I should not have that. Okay. So of course, then you will just adjust the color so it matches. So that is not the right one, so let's play this one. So as you can see, the save will make sure it's not overlapping to your content. So you have to play with these options to get the desired effect. Responsiveness is if you want, for example, for the shape to be responsive. And then you can also update, change the color, or I could change the height or flip the sense, the direction of the shape. Okay, here we might have as well sometimes we see like a blank line. It's not a problem. It's just it's just because the editor is loading as an iframe, so it will try to do it that way. And you can do that with any block you want, and you just select the block and add your divider. So for example, this one could be a bottom one, and so obviously I would just do something like that, and trying to match a color, and that's it. Okay, so you see basically how it works. So that's when you want to use ready-made blocks. Now, if I wanted to change a block, for example, by adding, I don't know, maybe I want to add a video here. So I would just go to the components and go to the media and say, okay, I want to add a video here. And then you would just enter the URL of your YouTube, Vimeo, or MP4 file, and that would be integrated right away. And so you can use all these components. Let's say, I don't know, I want to use to add an opt-in form. Where could I add an opt-in form? Here. Or I could just add my opt-in form here. And then you can do the same and go there and edit this field, change the background color, and you can do that for and customize your whole form. Okay, so the components sections comes handy when you want to do some, when you want to customize the blocks. So which means you can start with like the 700 ready-made blocks, and then you can just really tweak them however you want. You could say, okay, I want to duplicate that component and move it here. Okay, and now I even want to delete that one. So now your block looks completely different. And yeah, I could add just a video here and delete that image. So you can see it's you start with a block and you basically end up with a completely different looking block. Now, when you don't want to use a ready-made block as a starting point, you will just start with what we call empty block. And you have two options. The first one is what we call a boxed. It's boxed, meaning the content will remain within that range. And so let me show you how it works. So you add a block and it tells you empty container, start by adding a grid. So you go to the components and then you add a grid. The grid is the first step in building your layout. So it's like, well, it's called a grid. And we have some ready-made options. So you could say, okay, I don't know, I want, for example, two columns. So I would just add my 50-50 grid, and then you can start building your block that way. Saying, okay, I will add a video here, and maybe an opt-in form here. Okay, and then you just go inside and customize. Now I could say, okay, but I want maybe to add another kind of grid. Maybe here, for example, at the bottom. And so you could add your, for example, some icons or, you know, guarantee seals or whatever you wanted. You could do the same here. So you can nest different grids and keep adding your stuff to it. I could add some buttons over here. So it's quite easy to use, and of course you can just add some more grids if you wanted. So just at the bottom and do the same. Add a new component just for, I will add some text, and then for each of these you can then set up some settings. Background color for this one. I can then select maybe that one, and I can say, okay, it's too close to the rest, so I add some margin at the top. Okay, so you can then style everything you want. So that's the first kind of block. You can do everything just like if it was a ready-made block. You can just recreate a block any way you want. Just use an image and you're good to go. We have a nice feature as well, which is called the sticky. So if you want to make a sticky block, it means it won't scroll down. It will always remain on the screen, and all the other blocks will just go below it. So it's quite effective. Let me maybe show you an example. I will show you an example later. Of course, it's not useful with big blocks like this one. You just want to do it, for example, when you add a really small block and say, let's say, let me find one, sorry. We add, what is that? Call to action. I could add this block and then make it sticky. Okay, sticky, like changes, I can delete this one. And whenever you want, you can save. It will save your whole funnel. And when it's saved, you can preview it. And you just click on preview. Oops. So you can see how the sticky works. So it just stay at the top of your page. Okay, now I didn't go in the blocks. What you can do, you can save this block as a template. Let's say you're happy with the block you've designed. You can just save it, and it will then, when you save it, just click. Okay, it's saved, and now it's displayed right here with a screenshot of the block. And you can reuse it in any other funnel you will be creating. What you can do, you can also edit the source code of the block. So I don't recommend it unless you know what you're doing. And you can reset the block to its original state. So let me show you, for example, for this one. And it should normally reload just the original block. So if you're not happy, you messed with stuff, and so you just reset the block, and it will return to its original state. This global is if you want to be able to reuse the block on a different page. And of course, you can delete the block. What you can also do is say, okay, I want to move that block, so you just go there, and then you can just drag and drop to another place. So I think that's, yeah, for the editor, I think that's basically how it works.
JP, did you want to talk about the WYSIWYG text editor?
Yeah, so
when you hover over, and click on the T.
Yeah, when you hover over a text, then you can just type your text, and you will see different options. For example, I could say, okay, I want all the text in bold, italic. I can go back, of course. You can change the font. Okay, then you can also just select a portion and change its color. So I would say, okay, this one will be, I don't know, red. I can also change the background color for the selected text. I could just change, I don't know, the size of the font just for this one. So it's quite, if you're used to WYSIWYG editor, it's basically all the same. I can underline that part. I can decide to just center everything. I can hyperlink what I want. And I can just remove all the formatting just for this word. Or just say, okay, I select it all, and I just go back to the initial formatting. And of course, I can also just delete my previous step or undo, redo, whatever I've done so far. So that's how it works. Now, at the page level, what you can do, you can delete a page, you can duplicate or change the name. So let's say I'm creating a new page. So one thing, when you create a new page, you can start off with just a blank empty canvas, just like we did, or you can reuse any page you have created. So that's the pages you have created in any other funnel. Okay, so all your pages from all your funnels will show up here, and which means you can start with without having to recreate a page you like, and you say, okay, I would like to be able to use that page on another website where you can do it. You just select it, and it will be it will just be loaded. So let's say, I don't know, I want to use I don't know what, this one, no, not this one. Yeah, I want to use that one. So it will just load the page, and I will select it, or you can use one of the pages available in the done for you content you have access to. So you have access to your own page and to any other pages provided within the ready-made content. And it will just load the page you want. Oops. Yeah, we'll go with this one. Let's go. Then you just scroll down at the page, and the page will be created for you. As I said, I can change its name. And whenever you do some changes, it will automatically save, so you don't have to worry about it. So when you switch from one page to another, you don't have to save beforehand, because it will save your page automatically. Okay, as I said, I can duplicate that page, change the name, opt-in 2. And it will save. So you can see it's quite easy to use. And if I'm not happy with the page, I can just, oops, sorry, I can just delete that one. Yeah, delete page. Okay. Yeah, what I can show you now before moving to the speed testing engine is the pop-ups. So if you want to add some pop-ups to that page, and just that page, you just load the page inside the editor, and then you go to the pop-up section. And here, the first thing you want to do is to select the kind of pop-up you want. So for example, here I could create an exit pop-up, meaning whenever someone tries to leave my opt-in page, I will try to retarget them and get them to stay on the page. So we have some ready-made templates, so I could use this one. So you just drag and drop, and as you are used to do, you just edit whatever you want. If you want to add some images, or you can basically do whatever you are used to do. You can add a video, say, okay, oh, sorry to see you leave. We have a nice special one-time offer, or whatever. So, and then you select. You have some settings, so you can say, okay, you can show on every visit, or just the first time someone leaves your page, and that's it. You can't change the delay, obviously, because it's just an exit pop-up. Then you could say, okay, I also want an entry pop-up. Maybe, I don't know, to welcome my visitor. So I could say, I don't know, could use this one. Okay, and then you just change if you want your background. So as an entry pop-up, it's interesting because you tell them, okay, claim your discount or whatever you want. Of course, it works the same. You can just add your lead channel here if you want. And for the entry pop-up, you have different settings, so the same on every visit or just the first one. And you will select when you should display the entry pop-up. So you could display it right away, or you can just wait, I don't know, 10 seconds, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you want. So if you have a long sales page, you could have like a reminder telling them, okay, did you watch the video or whatever, and have the video in your entry pop-up. So it's entry pop-up is like a generic term because it will be automated when they are on your page, but it can be triggered at any point in time. And now if I wanted for that same page, I could create a regular pop-up. And I don't know, I can use this one, maybe if it works, yeah. Ugly. Okay, so let's do it that way. And for this pop-up, it's a triggered pop-up. So it means it will only appear based on an action from your visitor. So here you have a separate action, so you can't select when it appears, but you have a link. I mean, it's a hashtag, but you can just copy this one. And then I go back to my page. And let's say, let me add, I will add like a button that will say, yeah, I will add it here. Let's say, get started. Okay, and the link, then we just go to the reference to my pop-up. Okay, and now you can set your page, and that's it. So for the pop-ups, that's how it works. I'm not sure if it works in preview, we'll see. Okay, so now you can see your pop-up is triggered when I click here. So whenever I click here, and of course I can have multiple call to action to trigger that pop-up. And to close it, your visitors just have to click anywhere. The entry and exit pop-up does not work in preview because it's not a published page. But if we publish that page, we'll just do that now. So we just publish it, and I will say, okay, I will install to live. I know, just live, I can just browse it. So it will show my whole website, and for example, it was like opt-in. Right. Now you can see the entry pop-up, which is appearing right away. I can just close it here. I have my exit pop-up, my triggered pop-up, and the exit pop-up now. So as you can see, it's really instant. It works even in the latest version of your browsers. It can't be blocked. So it's because it's an overlay. It's not like a separate window being displayed. It's just part of the same window they are browsing. So it can't be bypassed. It can't be blocked, and it works really well. So if I reload my page, I'm not sure I can see it because it was set to be displayed at every visit. Same for my exit pop, and of course my triggered pop-up is just displayed right away. Okay, so now I will show you, just to finish, I think, the optimized module, which is our speed testing engine. There's a module, maybe a component I can show you before moving, but quickly, which is a quiz option. Okay, so you can create quizzes, real quizzes, from within the studio. And all you have to do is just, let's say I will just get rid of that one. So I just add that, remove that image. And so, and this quiz pop is basically, you can add some questions. Suppose you just edit your answers. Oh, sorry. Green. Okay, when you want to add new questions, you just go to the next one. And this is different questions and so on and so on. You can add another one and it will automatically, so let's say I'm going to, oops. And then when you have created your questions, you can start creating the branching. Of course, you can change the color of everything you want. Oops, not this one. Normally, you should be able to change every color on that page. That's the over. Okay. So when you, just on the live website, when you really hover it, it will change the color. And then I just select my answer. And here, whenever you select an answer, you will get a quiz options appearing. And you will just give, tell the engine what to do whenever someone picks red. And you can do the same basically with all your answers. And you will say, okay, I can just go to the next questions, which is in this quiz, that's the second one. Or I can go to any other questions I want. So let's say I just want that. And then whenever someone says green, what you can do, you can send them to an external URL. So you just select one, okay. You can display a thank you message with good, okay. Or you can show a pop-up, okay. So it will just show the triggered pop-up. And that's basically it. So either you redirect to different questions, usually the next one, you send your people to another website, or you just add a pop-up. So for example, at the end of your quiz, you could want to collect your leads. So to collect an email address. So at the end of the quiz, you will just pop up your opt-in form in an overlay, and you will be able to collect your leads. So that's how it works. It's really easy to use. You can of course change whatever you want. And of course you can display your on regular blocks or in a column, wherever you want. Okay, and finally, quickly about the optimize module. Just a minute, just checking. Yeah, we don't have any questions. Okay, so far. So to initiate a split testing or multivariate test, because it's not real split testing, it's a lot more advanced and way more effective than pure split testing, where you're just split testing two different pages, and usually it does not give you any kind of information, because what matters is how all the different components interact on what page. So the first thing to do is to enable the optimization test. You give it a name. I would say opt-in, and the goal of the optimization. What do you want to optimize for? So in that case, it's for a lead. You can enter a lead value. it could be a registration or for a sale. So the way I'm using it is usually start with a lead, and in fact you can add all three goals, and because it will allow you to understand how, for example, a change in the headline will affect your opt-in rate, but later on your, for example, your sales conversion rate. Okay, so just one test, you could just say, okay, I'm selling something for 99 bucks. Maybe it's 2 to 3 pages down the road, but in the report section, you will see exactly how this test impacted your conversion rate for the opt-in page. Maybe here you could test a click-through from the thank you page to the sales page, and so on. So it will give you a tracking code. You just copy that tracking code and you add it to the conversion page. So, for example, if that page was my thank you page, let's go to it. So I would just go to my page settings and paste the tracking code, and I can repeat that for all the pages on in my funnels or in another funnel. It could be on an external website. You just need to paste the tracking code. So now you have activated and enabled the optimize module, and so you can start speed testing and creating your test. So now that you have activated, you can do you can create variants, what we call variants. So whenever you will over any component or even block, you will see different options. So I could add a new variant, I could hide or show the variant, and here it tells me basically which variant I'm seeing for that block. So let's say I want to create a completely different block. So I will just click plus, it creates a new block, and now I'm seeing, okay, I'm editing the new variant. So, okay, what I want to do, I probably want to change the background color, and I also want to change this text. So become Explorer affiliates. And so now you can see that's my block A, so variant A for this block, and I can just switch back to the default, the reference, or to the A1. And if I wanted to create a new one, I could just click plus, and it will duplicate the variant I'm currently editing. So if I click plus when I'm on this one, it creates like a clone of that block. Now it's called the block B. Oops, what is that? Sorry. It's called the block B, and I'm editing block B. And on this one, I can just do the same and say, okay, now I probably want that, and the background image. I don't know, anyone would do. It's not a problem. Okay. And so now I have my free variant for that block. And here at the top of the page, I can switch completely from one variant to another. Because what you can do, I just worked on one block. So I can just, for that block, go from one variant to another. But then I can have different blocks. So I could also say, okay, I want to add a variant for this button. So I will just click plus, and here I select if I want this new button to be part of an existing variant, for example, the A or the B, or if I want to create a new variant. So let's say I wanted to combine that with the A variation. So I'm just doing it. And now I'm editing the A variant. And I will just change the color of my call to action button. OK. So now on this block, as you can see here, I don't have any variant at the block level because I just have a variant at the button level and I can switch from one to another, okay? But now if I go to the page level and I go to the A variant, you can see it updates the block with the A variant for that block. And it also updates just that component for the variant A because it's added to the A test, which means when, let's say I have 3 visitors coming to my page. The first one will see that page, which is the default one. The second one will see the A variant, which is this one. And the third one will see that one. And as you can see, this button has just one variant, which is the A. If I want to add another variant and say, okay, I want it to be part of B, I will just save, and then now I'm editing the B variant. I could say, sign up now. And that would just be part of the B variant. So if I go back to the reference, it's a normal one. Now on the A, still the same call to action, but different color. And now I revert to blue, but with a different call to action and a different block at the top. And you can create as many variants as you want and always go back to one just to see how your whole funnel, your whole page looks like. Okay. And of course, you can add new blocks. I could say, okay, I want to add a new block for this one. It would be the C. So now I'm editing the C. And what I want to do for the C, I don't know, I will just change the background color as well to that one. Okay. So now if I go to C, that's the one I'm seeing. And so you can just navigate through your different variants, either at the page level or whatever one you have updated. For example, this one, I could say, okay, that one, I will add it to the C one. And I will say none. Okay. So now in C, it says none, red, and so on, and the same. So now what I wanted to do is to show you another option you have, which is to show or hide variants. Okay. So for example, I could say, okay, maybe what could I do? For example, this one, this button. I could say, okay, I don't want to show it for variant A and B. So I just want to hide that component for variant A and B. And maybe I want to hide that block for variant C. And now when I go to my A, as you can see, I can't see the button anymore. B, I can't see it. And C, I can't see the button block. And I can see my button back because it's only disabled for variant B. And now it's all back to the original. So you can hide components, full blocks, buttons, and basically create like a test where you can see exactly what's working together, and which is why it's called a multivariate test, because you're testing multiple elements on the same page at the same time. And then you just go, so let's say I want to save it. Okay, and then you just go to your optimize section. And here you will see we have a test for this opt-in page, okay? And you will see all your variants and all your stats. So for the lead, for the registration, or for the sale. And your conversion rate for each goal, if you have set up the goals, and for each variant. And then you can also have some more options, some more settings, and say, okay, I want to, how long do I want to run that test? Or if I want to limit to, for example, I just want to run the test for like 1,000 visitors. And then the test will end. And if I click that, it will be automatically optimized and select the winning variation for you. So you don't have to change anything to your page afterwards. It will just show the winning variation. So that's how it works. And that's the end of this session. So no questions today. I think people are not awakened yet or just preparing for the weekend.
It's just nice that everything is under one roof, JP, isn't it? You've got everything that you need right there.
Yeah.
It's you jumping backwards and forwards, which is so time consuming. It's just nice to have everything you need at the click of a button.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, that kind of multivariate testing engine, you could use something like VWO, which is Visual Website Optimizer. But basically, if you wanted to use that way, it costs around it's between $400 to $700 a month, just to split test your page. So not worth it for sure. And yeah, and we want to have everything under one roof because, as you can see, it's fully integrated. So you don't need any third-party app to just edit your website for you. You can just do it, and it's native, so it's not relying on some external script, which most of the time won't work, especially now that browsers are changing every day. So and you can track your funnel completely natively that way. Okay, so all good. Thanks for your time. And if you have any questions, just use comment box in Facebook or YouTube, or just get back to us. And based on the questions, we can do some new training sessions, more specific to just a module or two. So yeah, that's it. So thanks for your time, and have a good weekend. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Take care.